Hi everyone, this is Mike Newman from Illinois Prep Harrier and Diet Stats here with our weekend recap show. We call it the Monday Morning Quarterback, where we'll go through and dissect everything that went on over the weekend. And I don't know if there was anything that went on. Can you guys think of anything that went on this weekend? Yeah, we got a few meets. Well, there are more than a few meets, and a lot of things happened throughout the state of Illinois. Any of the recaps, and we do have a recap of the Hinsdale the Hornet Red Devil Invitational at Catherine Legge on Saturday. You can go to IllinoisPrepHarrier.wordpress.com, and we have the highlights there and highlights of other meets and other great stuff there too. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the first meet, and I was at Catherine Legge Park. Overcast day, started to sprinkle right after the girls varsity race, but we're going to talk about the girls varsity race first. What a great race. You had some of the top teams in the state. You had top rated and nationally ranked New Trier. You had Wheaton Warrenville South, number 2. You had Glenbard West, who was number 5. Palatine, number 7. Those were the top 4 powerhouse teams. This was a pressure cooker right from the get-go. Pace went out. Madeline Perez from Glenbard West took the pace about a half mile out. Jill Hardees was the only runner to go with her. Perez went through the mile in about 5:20, and Hardees was about 5 seconds back. Perez kept the same pace for the second mile, but the group dropped off. One thing to note, the New Trier girls, Courtney and Jessica Ackerman and Mimi Smith, led their pack, and they were about 20 seconds behind Perez at that point. I don't think anybody wanted to make that commitment that early in the race to go that fast. Perez basically had the race won at that point. She went by the 2 mile 11:10. Courtney Ackerman was about 18 seconds back, and closed the gap a little bit to about 14 seconds at the end, where Perez won in 16:59. Courtney Ackerman was 17:13. 16:59 at Catherine Legge this early in the year is going to set a tone for some fast times at Detweiler in the next couple of weeks. We should see some great things there. Team-wise, Glenbard West had Perez was first, and Lisa Luzak, great sophomore who finished third, were the top 2 runners for Glenbard West, won the meet 51-55 over New Trier. What should not be left out, Palatine was third, 60 points, so they were not too far out of it. And then Wheaton Warrenville South was fourth. Wheaton Warrenville South did a few different things. Kayla Neitlinger was running the girls' open race. Katie Popejoy, they did not race her on that day. So Wheaton South did not have their full lineup in there. And we saw that throughout the state this year. There were teams that weren't running everybody. Glenbard West winning, a little bit of a surprise. But talking to the coaches afterwards, guess what? It's not an upset. Glenbard West is a good team. 51-55 like that, very close to New Trier. New Trier started out slower in the pack. They have some issues to deal with. Coach Burnside afterwards told me that, you know what, we've learned a lot from this meet. We'll just move on from there. And that should be the approach with all the coaches. Now you know, anybody who raced on Saturday, now you know where you're at. And you just move on from there. And somebody asked me, well, who would you rank number 1 right now? Or is there a clear number 1? Absolutely not in the girls 3A. I think anywhere from 5 to 6 to 7 teams, you could say they're that good, and any team can knock another team off on that day. So it's September 3rd today. We have a long way to go in regards to that. Boys race, we'll talk about the team race first. Neuqua Valley ran a nice pack. Typical Neuqua Valley race. Stayed in a pack till about the 1.5 miles, and they kind of exploded from there. Elec Meka of Neuqua was their number 1 man, was about 5th with about a half mile to go, threw in a great kick and came up to 2nd at the end. But Neuqua Valley ran a 52-second split on 5 runners, won the meet pretty easily by 35 points over a surprising New Trier team. 52-second split for Neuqua Valley. Can come down a little bit more because you have 2 runners on the Frost Soft level for Neuqua that are going to be moved up soon, probably around their conference time, and it will really help them a lot. So One thing about New Trier's team-wise, they only have 2 guys returning from last year's team, Connor Trapp and Ethan Kaplan. And I'm going to look at my notes here. There are 3 runners that came in the top 5. For example, Chase Silverman. Last year at this meet, Chase Silverman, ran 17:11 at this meet. On Saturday, I think he was about 15:54, 15:55. So he's improved immensely. Want to talk about improvement? Bennett Levis. I hope I pronounced your name right, Bennett. Ran 17:57 last year at this meet. 15:56, 15:57, improved by 2 minutes. So, what a great job, New Trier, with a 26-second split on 5 runners. That's a great thing. They're going to be tough. 3rd place in the boys' meet at Hinsdale was Palatine. Now, Palatine may have been a little bit ahead of New Trier if they would have run Graham Brown on varsity. He ran on the sophomore level, won the sophomore level pretty easily, ran 15:55, but I'm sure he would have been close to Christian Zambrano, who was 3rd in that race. Individual race, great race. They went through 5:02, 10:12 at the 2 mile. The 2 mile, you had Joey Santillo. You had Christian Zambrano was close by. And you also had Micah Beller of Niles North, who was kind of sitting off the pace. Going up the South Hill, Santillo made a burst up the hill. And Beller didn't know afterwards, after I was talking to him, he said, I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay with him. Well, he made the move coming down the hill, caught him, and then with a half mile to go, coming towards the chute, he burst out, won by 3 seconds over Micah. So, great competition there. There's going to be some changes in the ratings and everything else. So we've got that. Another big meet was at Fenton, the early bird invite on Fenton's campus course. What can we say about Kaylee Flanagan? 16:56, won by over a minute over a freshman from Elk Grove, Janine McCormick, I believe. And I don't think she had her foot all the way down on the pedal. 16:56 on Fenton's course is outstanding. Can't wait to see this weekend on her home course what she can do at her invite, and that's going to be a loaded invitational in itself. Lake Park, where did my notes? Oh, Lake Park had a 49-second split off of Flanagan from 2 to 5. You shouldn't worry about the 1-5 split on Lake Park because Flanagan's going to be ahead. But a 49-second split on 2 to 5 is a good thing. Lake Park won easily over some good teams. Downers North was number 14 was 77. Downers South was 80. Prospect was 100. They ran a different strategy. Brook Wolf was 4th individually in the race. I wouldn't worry about Prospect. They start out slow, just like Wheaton South. Start out slow. They have a plan to get there at the right time, and that's the name of the game. Boys level, kind of interesting results there. Steven Saldana broke away at the end from Patrick Yerkes of Fenwick to win by a couple of seconds. 15:45 was the winning time. The key, team-wise, Lake Park, ranked number 11, only beat Oak Park River Forest, who was unrated, 69-72. Lake Park didn't have their full top 5 in there. They were missing a few guys. Interesting to see this weekend how they will do at their own invite. But you got to take a little bit of notice on Oak Park. Had a nice tight pack. It's the post Malachi Schrobilgan era at the West Suburban School, and they looked pretty good. So keep an eye on them. They may move into the ratings next week. We'll wait and see. Haven't decided that yet. So we've got that out of the way. Let's go down to Granite City. Wilson Park, they had 4 or 5 inches of rain the day before from the remnants of tropical depression, Isaac. Boys level, Granite City won pretty easily. Beat rated Springfield School in 2A 34-90. O'Fallon's 1-2 punch. Here again, Alex Reba won in 15 minutes. Patrick Perrier was second, 15:07. Reba just missed the course record set by Garrett Sweat of Edwardsville last year by 2 seconds. So that's an indication of how good those guys are in shape right now. They're split. 86 seconds on five men. Their 3 to 5 split was about 30 seconds, which is good for them right now. But that gap between Riva and Harrier and their third man Dorian Gordon is going to need to come down. And here again, first meet of the year, plenty to work on with that. Girls wise, number 12 O'Fallon looked impressive. 35 points, won easily in the race. Chatham Glenwood, who's ranked number 6, I believe, in girls 2A, was second with 107 points, and they beat Breeze Mater Day, who's rated a little bit higher than them. Breeze was third, or was fourth. Edwardsville was third, excuse me. So a lot of interesting things going on there at that meet. Levy Invitational, St. Charles. Fast times, absolutely fast times. Girls-wise, Emma Fisher from York won the race, 17:09, barely by 1 second over, oh gosh, I hope I get your name right, Lauren Van Vlierbergen, 17:10, only a sophomore from Jacobs. Plenty of promise there, but the course was fast. Talking to coaches that were at the meet, it's 3 miles. Just everybody ran fast. It was a fast race on that, for fast course on that day, and it was overcast. Conditions were great. Boys level, Caleb Beck of Oswego took it out hard. Boy, did he take it out hard. He has the fastest time so far in the state for 3 miles. And I know you can't compare 3 mile times from course to course. You shouldn't. But Beck's 14:36 this early in the year is kind of notable. Second was Joe Singleton of Glenbard South, 14:41. Wheaton North won the team title over a pretty good Jacobs team. Wheaton North was ranked 25th. I'm sure they will move up the ratings. Jacobs, I'm pretty sure, will move into the ratings as well. The one thing that I would keep an eye on, Glenbard South was way back. Where did we have Glenbard South? I don't know. They were 12th. John Wald, their outstanding junior, did not run in the race on Saturday, and we haven't gotten any feedback from the people of Glenbard South, but they had their other runners in there. So what kind of strategy they used, here again, September 1st, I don't know. So we'll wait and see on that. Other highlights, ICOPS Invitational at Reed Kepler in West Chicago. Jack Keeneland stayed with the pack. St. Ignatius has a nice 2 through 4 pack, but Keeneland stayed with the pack in the entire race. Broke ahead the last mile as planned, won by 21 seconds. Using it as a tune-up for this weekend at the, well, it's not the Peoria Woodruff Invite anymore, but it's the First to the Finish Invitational at Detweiler. He's ready to go. Looking for some fast times there. What else? Charleston, Riley McInerney of Charleston on the Eastern Illinois course, 15:07, course record. Looked good there. Mamet Seymour was the individual winner, team-wise there. The Chrisman Cow Chip Invitational Classic in Chrisman. It poured there, rained the entire time. It's a flighted meet, but in the boys' individual race, Jesse Hahn broke away with about 1,000 meters to go from Danville Schlarman and beat Blake Hale of Robinson, who's a great half-miler in track, and he's a very good cross-country runner. He placed 4th last year. And then Nick Hess from St. Thomas More in Champaign was 3rd. Flighted meets, it's hard to judge team-wise. Monticello defeated the number 1 1A team, boys team, St. Thomas More by 1 point, 16-17. Here again, it's a flighted meet. I like to see how they run against each other in a team cross-country race. So, hard to say there. What else? Lyons Township, great meet there. Lyons Pride meet. Number 4, Lyons Township looked good. 30 points, 46 seconds split on 1 to 5. Mike Matuziak of Lyons Township, individual winner, 15:01. Second was Kyle Hauser of Marist, who's coming off of a great track season. Look forward to some great things from Kyle as the year goes on. So we have that. Crystal Lake South. Crystal Lake South Invitational was not held on the hilly Veteran Acres course this year. They have some construction going on there. It was held at Lippold Park, which is in Crystal Lake, but it's a flat course and it's fast. Distance is 3.08, 3.09 miles, close to 5,000 meters. Let's call it 5,000 meters. Girls race, Maura Beatty. What a race. 17:48 on that course. Fast time, and she won by almost a minute over Ivy Hanley of Decatur St. Teresa. Decatur St. Teresa came up for this meet. They came to Crystal Lake last year. They had 5 runners in the first 16, I believe, and easily won over a good 2A team, up-and-coming 2A team from Vernon Hills. So interesting to see what happens there. 41 points for St. Teresa. Boys race. Boys race was scheduled to go off at a certain time. They had to wait 30 minutes because there was a timing malfunction in the girls' varsity race. So the guys who were sitting around when the gun went off, Belvedere North took charge right away. They won the meet easily, basically doubled the team score over a good Prem team. But here again, Tyler Young, Garrett Lee went 1-2. They ran a better race than they did at Sycamore, and we can talk about Sycamore in a second. 1-2, 15-14 on that course. And like I said, flat course, lightning fast times. Not surprised with the times there. Belvedere North split on 5 runners was 61 seconds, which is much better at Sycamore. At Sycamore, we haven't talked about this, but Jones Prep ran a controlled race early on, came through at the end, kept a 40-second split, and beat Belvedere North 36-55. Jones is going to be the #1 team in the state when the ratings come out on Tuesday. Jones is a good team. They're a very good team. So is Belvedere North. I think Belvedere North learned a little bit from the meet at Sycamore, and they responded a little bit. But there's a lot of work still to do with that. So we got that. We've got Granite City. And one more meet to mention, the Oregon Open at Oregon West Park. No team scores kept, but one notable performance in the girls' race. Victoria Clinton of Canelan was 11th last year in the 2A race. She got beat by a great runner from Bureau Valley, Reagan Wiedner, 19:30 on that 3-mile course. Clinton was 19:34. So we're going to see some great things from Reagan as the year goes on. So we have all of that. One thing that I mentioned in the last video was the question of the day, and we've got some great questions here. If you want to send in a question of the day, I'll answer them at newman-il@gmail.com. Send it in. But we got a great email from Emmett Barr from Niles North. Ran 27th. He was the #2 man for the Vikings at Hinsdale on Saturday. And I'm going to read up my computer teleprompter here. He said, I run for Niles North and I love the new website. My question is how you decide the rankings and what do you look at? Is it solely time-based, mostly time-based, or is it a feel that you get from watching a team? I imagine it's a hybrid. I'm curious to find out how many meets you went to. Boy, that's more than one question, Emmett. Any case, I've been doing this for a number of years, and so you get a feel of who's looking good and all that. I base everything off of ratings. I have a formula that I go through that I set up the ratings at the beginning of the year. There's a few mathematical formulas that I use looking at different times, how runners improve during the spring, and tendencies from the year before, how teams run early in the year and everything else. I keep a book on it. I keep a file on the computer where I did something different last year that I really haven't told anybody, and it worked really effectively with the ratings towards the end of the year. So I'm going to do that a little bit more. But you want to look at, times on courses, conditions, team-wise. You don't want to base it, oh, they finished 8th, but if they ran their JV team, you don't drop the team down. It's a lot of common sense here. You want to look at splits, too. You want to see how their split is in relation to other teams, in relation to where their #1 runner is. You can have a 20-second split, but if you're in the boondocks and you're out of contention for the individual title or whatever, 20-second split, and if you're in 40th place, isn't really going to do you any good in a major invite. So you look at things like that. You look at placing, and you look at missing runners, and talking to coaches helps a lot. And I didn't really answer the question. There isn't really a specific on that. There's a lot of feel on that. And like with the girls, I saw some great things in the girls' races at Hinsdale, and you get a feel that way. And seeing them teams a number of times, I can only go to 1 or 2 meets in a week, so looking at results, I've learned to do it that way. So, Emmett, I hope that answers your question. And then there was another question. Ryan Hodes from Oak Park asked if Oak Park was going to be rated this week. I don't know. Haven't done them yet. So check at Illinois Prep Harrier, WordPress.com if you have any questions, or if you don't see your results on TFX Meet Central. All the results that I've received, with the exception of McChesney Park Harlem, I have the results. I still have to put that on today. And also the Oregon Open Meet will go up on the site later today. But you can send me an email to newman.il@gmail.com. Get me the results. Or if you have any questions, more the merrier. So, that is it for today. Hope you all have a good week. Train hard. And check back later in the week on Thursday or Friday, where we'll go over what's going to happen this coming weekend. We have some great meets at Detweiler, the first Detweiler meet of the year, the first of the finish invite, and also a great meet also at Lake Park. So have a great week, everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye.